So you see a picture of a man, two women standing there and posing, and that's essentially what tourism is about. It's about activity of traveling and visiting places. So going around and visiting places, seeing new destinations, seeing new places. That's what tourism is. It's very sad that you have people who have never gone to Peru before. They go to a funeral in Peru and they don't step out and see the town. They sit at the funeral is over, and then the next thing you see is they jump on the bus and they're on their way to Accra. Then they'll tell people, I have been to Peru. You haven't seen anything in Peru. You see people go to a funeral in Cape Coast, for example, very close to where the Cape Coast Castle is. It will take you 45 minutes to tour the castle. They will spend 3 or 4 hours or maybe more than that in Cape Coast and not spend 45 minutes in touring the castle and seeing what the castle is about. But they'll say they visited Cape Coast Castle. And we've had so many of those instances. And tourism also has to do with temporal movement of people. So any movement that is permanent is not tourism. So if you travel to the UK and your goal is to stay there and work and all, it is not tourism. It has to do with temporal movement. So once you go to a place and you stay less than a year and you come back, it is tourism. And then also, you do not have to earn money when you are embarking on a touristic activity. So if I go to, let's say, Singapore, and I stay there and I'm working and earning money, you are not there for touristic activities, you are there to make money. And then also, it also has to do with spending time away from home in pursuit of recreation, relaxation, and pleasure. So once you go to a place and you want to just do away with time and everything, it is tourism. And so I want to share 5 reasons why people travel, or 5 reasons why you must travel. And I think that this presentation is going to help all of you, especially for those who do not think that it is very relevant for them to travel. So the first one is, when you travel, it helps you to challenge yourself. Sometimes you are in a particular space and you are just very comfortable at where you are. And you need to challenge yourself. You need to see what is happening in other spaces. I remember my very first trip abroad. When we were on the trip, I asked my boss, do our leaders come here? He said, oh, our leaders always come here. And my question is, why is this place so developed and our space is not developed? Because if our leaders really do come here and they see this development, why don't they bring it home? Why don't they challenge themselves and say, challenge with all these nice, beautiful buildings we are seeing, and clean streets, clean water, and everything, why don't you come and implement the same thing here? So normally when people are yearning for something exciting and different, they want to travel. And then again, the travel gets you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you are in a particular space for too long and you are tired, you are really tired, you really want to travel. And in my research paper titled Destination Selection Determinants and Revisit Intentions, where I was trying to understand why tourists, for example, visit Ghana, one of the things that topped everything out of the 6 constructs I tested was ego enhancement. People came to Ghana just to enhance their ego. And what that meant was that they want to be the first person among their peers to have visited Ghana. And so they decided to come. And a lot of people travel for this. So you see the Chinese, for example, they visit a country that they don't know, maybe, okay, Mongolia shares border with them. So let's say they discover a new country somewhere, maybe Equatorial Guinea, and they go and they see some beautiful island, they go and stand there and take a picture and post it on social media. And you see that all Chinese people will start going to that location just to go and see it. You know, so it's very, very important that you take up any touristic activity. And there's a feeling that comes with finishing your trip. So when you challenge yourself and you go on a trip, like the picture you can see there, there's a lady who is smiling broadly because she's on the canopy walkway at Kakum National Park. And for those of you who don't know Kakum National Park, it is they have 7 bridges. And the first one is very easy to do, but once you get on the second and third one, you are hanging in between a rainforest, which is about 30 or 33 kilometers down, and it's a bit scary, and you are worried, and you're asking questions, am I going to die? And you are so worried. And I remember my first time on it, I asked has anybody fallen in this thing before? They said no. Then I said, okay, then I won't be the first person. And so I was able to do it. So once you challenge yourself and then you finish your trip, there is that level of refreshment that comes with doing that, and it's very important. I remember I went to Market Circle back in the days with my girlfriend, and she's never visited Takoradi before. So we took a trip there, we booked a hotel, we stayed there. And when we got to Market Circle, her dream was just to see Market Circle because she's heard a lot about it, and she was wondering, what is this whole Market Circle about? And once she saw it and we went up to a story building and she could see the whole area, she took a selfie, posted it on social media and told her friends she's in Takoradi and she's at Market Circle. And that's the feeling that comes with traveling and discovering new places. And it's very important that you do that. And then also you learn about other cultures. For example, when you travel to Ghana, the first language you hear is the Twi language, and the first thing they will say to you is Akwaba. It's a language that you're actually going to carry with you everywhere you go, and they say, welcome. I remember my visit to Beijing, the first thing I still remember is Nii Hao. And you keep that with you everywhere you go. And when I went back to Beijing the second time, it was quite easy because I felt like, okay, now I know the people, I know their culture, I know what is expected of me. My first time I didn't enjoy it. So you learn about a new culture, you learn about a new language, you learn about the way they dress, their food, they took me to a warehouse on the third floor by some Ghanaian guy my second time in Beijing. And I posted actually on Facebook that I was in Beijing, so somebody contacted me and said, listen, I know this Ghana boy there who can spin you around. And I was amazed. 10 p.m. we're out chilling, and this warehouse place played nice music. I saw people from all walks of life, from Finland, Germany, US, Nigeria. I was blown away. I was like, whoa, I am home, man. And people were speaking all kinds of languages. You will definitely meet a brother or a sister that you know from. And the journey that time was very exciting because now I wanted to go out every evening. So you learn about the food, the way the people behave, why they do what they do, the way they dress, cultural drumming and dancing, and all these things excite you because you want to learn about other culture. And I think this is one of the reasons why people must really, really engage in traveling. Because even when you travel to Togo, which shares border with Ghana in the east, you realize that the culture of the people is very different. So last December, a friend of mine who came from the United States and I decided to go to Togo to have lunch because it's very easy. Just 3 hours drive, we are in there, and so we can do a city tour. And we had heard about the voodoo culture in Togo. We were blown away when we were taken to the Akodesiwa, I think if I got that right, fetish market. And this was a market, it was a proper market where all they were selling was fetish. And we have never seen anything like this. We went through the markets and we ended up in a shrine where they were telling us about everything. When we finished, they said, would you like to buy some fetish? And we're like, really, who buys fetish? They said, well, you're in the fetish market, so if you want to buy, we have good luck. We have traveling mercies. We have this, we have that, and they are not expensive. You can just carry them with you. Though we didn't buy, where the culture was different from what we knew, and we really appreciated the fact that we had heard about the voodoo culture, and we finally went to Togo to see it. And of course, when you go to Benin, it's there, and it's very colorful when they do the voodoo festival. And these are reasons why sometimes you must see, it says I'm a Christian, but it was exciting for me to see that, whoa, people are really selling fetish. And we took pictures, I posted a few of them on social media, and people who wanted to comment did. And another reason why you have to travel is to appreciate life. So you see the fat guy in the middle there, and we went on a trip, and he is one guy who taught me a lot about life. The guy is huge, and he can eat, and it's really cool like that. And he's a father, he's a brother, he's a cool guy to hang out with. And it helps you to appreciate life because, see, travel gives you a fresh, exciting appreciation of who you are and where you come from. I visited a village a little away from Kakum National Park. It's called Wasa Domama. And when I went there, I saw poverty. I saw poverty. There were no good streets because we were going to visit the Shrine Rock, and it's just a cocoa village. And I was asking myself, how do these people survive? How do they live? Maybe they thrive on tourism, but how many tourists come to this location, even know about the tour sites? Then one thing it taught me is once you live in the village, you live in the city, you think life is all sweet and rosy. But when you go to these places, it helps you to appreciate life. It helps you to know that you are blessed. It helps you to know that my situation is not bad. After all, there's somebody in this dying situation. And reason why when you see tourists and they give a lot of tips, even sometimes without services, and I've been on a lot of trips and traveled this whole country. Sometimes you are with tourists and they change a lot of money and they get into a community and they are giving. It's because they appreciate life. They see that maybe coming in, they are thinking, oh, we don't have much. But they go into another space and they realize that, oh, maybe I'm better. Maybe my life is okay. Most of you seated here, if you travel to certain parts of northern Ghana and maybe you are complaining about your life in the city, you realize that, Charlie, you are okay, cry. Because there are people who live in certain areas in northern part of Ghana. Not that they don't appreciate where they are happy. You would think that they are not happy, but they are happy. But with you, it also humbles you to know that, well, after all, I'm blessed because I drive a small Corolla in Accra and I'm complaining that this and that, life is difficult and this and that. But somebody is living in a small space and the person appreciates life, enjoys it, and is happy. You see the children running about and they are very excited. So one of the things traveling does to you is it helps you to appreciate life. And when you go to other spaces that are also even well developed, you also don't find yourself to have fallen short, but you also see that, well, there's a reason for which I have to also work hard and get to these spaces and do the things I need to do. So it also motivates you to be the best you can be. And it makes you feel lucky and very grateful. Sometimes we are not grateful for our lives, but once you travel, you see how blessed you are. You see, because travel is expensive. It takes two things to travel. It takes time and discretionary income. If you don't have time and you don't have discretionary income, I won't say money, I'll say discretionary income. And discretionary income is defined as that kind of money that after paying your tax and all the community you need to pay, it stays on you to chill. And once you don't have that discretionary income, you can't travel. If you have time and you don't have money, you can't travel. If you have money and you don't have time, you can't travel. You need these two to travel. And what surprises us is most of the people we see come into our spaces perhaps may have saved for 2 years, 3 years to come and spend the amount of money they are spending within our space. So these are some of the reasons. And then also the fifth point is, I would say, it builds and strengthens relationships. So I'll give you a very typical example. I traveled to Axim and I saw this. I was supposed to have a meeting in a hotel that I didn't know. I was sleeping at Axim Beach Resort. So I told the receptionist that I was going to Lumu around 7 p.m. And he asked me, what are you going to do? I said, I have a meeting at 8. Then he said, okay, if you go with the taxi driver, let him wait for you and bring you back. I said, oh, no, he can just leave. He said, do you know where you are going? I said, no. So we're going and it started raining. And we're driving in the middle of nowhere. The roads were bad and then our car got stuck in the mud. And I was a bit confused. So the taxi driver said, come out and help me push the car. I said, me, in the middle of nowhere. I rather closed the 2 doors and stayed in the taxi just in case somebody was going to appear from the bush. He realized this Accra boy who had just come from the city doesn't know how village life works. So he managed and drove the car out of the mud. And we drove on a very bad road, crossed some villages, and before I know, boom, some beautiful resort. I saw white people there. I was wondering, wow, who would come and build a hotel here? So I had a meeting with the manager and everything. Even asked him if they had rooms available. He said they were fully booked. Then 2 years later, we were working on a project and we booked the hotel again. I got to sleep in the most expensive hotel, most expensive room. The room is on the island. On the island, the suite has 2 adjoining rooms with jacuzzi in it. You have a private swimming pool. The chef comes to cook for you on the island. So you don't do anything in the main hotel. It was beautiful. Then I took my phone and checked and I had no internet. We checked, the room had no television. Then the idea that popped up in my head is, travel is medicine. See, if you're having bad relationship, your marriage isn't working, and you are having some issues with your partner, all you need to do is to travel. Travel. For example, if you stay on that island with your girlfriend or your wife who isn't talking to you and you're convinced on that trip, once you're on the island and there's food and everything, there's everything, but there's no TV, which is a big distraction. There's no internet. So it's just the two of you there. She'll definitely talk to you. Your wife will talk to you and you start your conversation. And before you know, you drove all the way from Accra to Axim or wherever, angry and everything. You live happily because now she will talk to you. Maybe she'll make some sweet love to you. You guys will have some fine conversations. You will solve your problems. And if you check, statistics shows that couples who travel together live longer. So I don't understand why people have been married for years and you've never bought a trip for your wife. You've never gone somewhere, leave the children with their grandparents and just travel together to go and redefine yourself and get your groove on again. Like that movie, Stella Got a Groove On. I don't know if you remember that movie, Tay Diggs, and the lady traveled to the Bahamas. She's old, she didn't think that she could do anything again, and she met the love of her life. And things like that. So once you're in a relationship, you should be able to take trips together. So because the things you practice, those things are able to help you to get to the level where you need to get to. And travel is really medicine. And it helps to build bonds and friendships. So can you imagine if a few friends, boys, you decide to buy a travel trip and you get out of town for a couple of days, maybe 2 days, 3 days. You come back with a stronger level of friendship, stronger bond, and you realize that your relationship is even much more stronger. So I say that once you are married, you should have a travel account. It has to be a must. You must have that travel account where you and your wife or your partner, you start saving little by little towards travel. It could take maybe 3 years to be able to raise maybe $3,000. So let me share one of my travel experiences with my friends with you. So we wanted to go to Mali. Our goal was to visit Bamako, but we didn't have money, so we saved for 1 year. And our goal was that we were going to go to Mali by road and then return to Accra by air. So we wanted to do something crazy, something we've never done before. So we saved money, and we went with public transport from Accra all the way to Tamale. And then from Tamale, we slept one night, did one city tour of Tamale, went around Tamale, ate the soya and all the things, learned the culture, went around, saw a few places. Next day, we got a car from Boga to cross all the way into Burkina. We stayed in Ouagadougou for another 2 days, I think 2 or 3 days, touring Ouaga. And our French was bad, but we were just managing, going around, seeing the place and all. And then another bus from Mali, from Ouaga into Mali, which was interesting but stressful, but it was fun because the one who proposed the trip to us said, if we did go by air, we won't see a lot. So we decided to go by road so we can see all these things, and which was fun. And how did we do it? We had to save money together. So we're just looking for Airbnb and small accommodations, guest houses that were decent, nice, sleep in and eat breakfast, and then just go and see all these places, and then we flew back to Accra. So these are some of the things. When you travel together, it builds and strengthens relationship. So the last one I'll talk about is it helps you to escape. That's getting away from the familiar. You're used to the city too much. You're used to the same people too much. You need to see things. Really, there's so much beauty in the world. Unless you are shown. There's so much. So as a professional tour guide, I tell people that they say, oh, there's nothing in Ghana. I said, where do you know in Ghana? Which places have you gone? Where? You tell me. Even Accra, I can take you to certain places in Accra that you've never gone. You see, there are people who drive around Jamestown. They drive on the highway and then just go. They've never entered Jamestown proper. So if somebody does an Accra City tour with you, evening tour, and takes you to Jamestown, for you to just experience how the people are on the street, will blow your mind. I took a lady on a tour and she took a picture at Osikan. and somebody tweeted and said, "Is this Mauritius?" I said, "No, this is Accra or Sikan." She was shocked. There are places, until you are shown, you never know. You know, so until you're taken to these destinations and shown all these places, and there are so many nice places in Ghana, but because you haven't traveled, because you haven't engaged any travel tour operator, you haven't engaged any tour guide, you haven't engaged somebody who knows the town, you think there's absolutely nothing here. So it hurts that sometimes you just see Ghanaians packing money, $2,000, $3,000 going to Dubai. Going to Dubai when there's so much here. So I always like to encourage inbound tourism, because the thing is this: once you travel to a small local area, you bring money and you put money into the pockets of the people. When one tourist comes to Ghana, for example, right at the airport, he gives tips to the guy who pushes his bag into the car. Then from there, he pays the taxi driver, the restaurants they eat in, the tour guide, the entrance fees at the various tour attractions, the guy who comes to sell banana on the street. So much money goes into different spaces. And this is the reason why we need to escape, find a new place. And escapism helps in healing you. Sometimes you are in one place and you can be very stressed. But once you travel, you realize that you are healed. You get to know something and you are very happy. So I'll spend just 2 minutes in talking about how to prepare for a trip, at least to give you an idea. First of all, you need to plan ahead of time. You can't just get up and say, "I am traveling." You need to plan. You need to know where you are going, what you want to do, and all of that. Once you plan, you'll be able to execute that. And if you look at the picture up there, these are students who are trying to research and find out where they want to go and all of that. And once you're able to do that, you'll be able to enjoy your trip. And then also, if you don't know what to do, get in touch with the tour operator. It's the job of the tour operator to give you a travel itinerary and all of that. So if I'm going to Singapore and I don't know anybody in Singapore, I'll call a tour operator in Singapore and he can give me some ideas of the places to visit, how much it will cost and everything. And then also, you need to save money. Start doing some small. So for me, I'll always have a dollar account. Once I do something small and I have some small money, I drop it in the account. Once I do sometimes $20, $30, $40, I just put it in it. Once it hits the mark that I want, I'm on the road, you know. And then also you need to book a trip. Don't just walk into a destination. Don't just walk into a space you don't know. You need to book that trip. Let somebody who knows the space to help you to be able to plan the trip and get it done. And finally, when you finish the whole trip, evaluate the trip. Was it fulfilling? What did it bring into your life? Did it change something? Would you want to visit the same destination again? And the revisit intentions are very important for the destination marketing organization to be able to properly plan, so that next time, once you are there, you'll be able to meet your needs profitably. And I'll end by saying that travelers are risk takers.